because obviously at a young age, there's certain things, you know, at a young age you want to do, but you're not able to do it because of the way you have been brought up. So was there anything that kind of tempted you and kind of moved you a bit, you know, and then shift you back into, you know, Christianity?
Well, you know, there's always going to be temptation. The devil is not going to stop being the devil. He's always going to try you. And there were many moments on the journey where I quit. Nobody will tell you that, but most of us that are anointed and are called to this, you quit most probably every year. You quit, you know, but you get right back on track, you know. And so, yeah, there were moments. I remember when I was the minister of my church, I was around 16, 17 years old. And I had aspirations to really go out and make secular music, you know. But I was in a church. My mom and dad were the pastors. I was the minister of music. And I felt like I was stuck in that world when I wanted to be like Michael Jackson and Babyface, you know. And I actually got a record deal. I got a record deal with Arista Records, big record deal. Had done like 20 songs, R&B songs. And I had signed the deal. The deal was done the night that I signed the deal. Mm-hmm. I went home excited. And I couldn't tell anybody because if I told my mother and father, and them, they would have said, boy, you crazy. You still living in my house talking about you doing an R&B record, you know? I mean, and so I couldn't tell nobody. But when I got home, I had an encounter with God. Mm-hmm. And God told me, Dietrich, you can't do it. I don't ever want you to go back to that studio ever again. I said, God, but I signed the deal. You can't do it. I got something else for you to do. I have a higher calling for you. Yeah. And I just called the people on the phone and told them, I know we just signed this deal. I said, but God spoke to me and told me I can't go back. I can't come back to the studio. And you know what? The lady who was over the production company that got me signed, she started crying. She said, you know, I said, why are you crying? She said, because God spoke to me earlier today and said, that boy has something else to say, something more to say. Like, and she said, as long as you was going with the deal, I was going with you. She said, but God spoke to me and told me